Affected the first goal, Jesse. I mean, 9 seconds in, you can't plan for that, right?
Pretty incredible that we allow ourselves, we dig a hole like that 9 seconds into the game. Very disappointing. But actually our response for the rest of the half, and then even our push in the second half was all pretty good. And then obviously to give up a goal late, really now we've dug ourselves a hole. But credit to Columbus for them for the first second to be on top of the game like that, and now gain a little bit of a lead, and credit to them for protecting their home field and getting a 2-0 lead. So we're at halftime, and we know there's still a lot to play for.
Did you have to change anything game plan-wise when that first goal happened?
No. You just wonder how something like that can happen in a big game like this. But no, I mean, we tried to stick to the game and do all the things that we felt were going to be successcul.
When you look at the 2 goals, what do you see as far as what you guys did that maybe allowed that to happen?
Well, the first one is, we worked. Actually, we talked all week about those kinds of plays and them playing direct to Kamara and Finley running off, and we don't do well enough. Purely don't do well enough on a play that we talked about and prepared for all week. And then on the second one, we just let Cedric kind of dribble through about 3-4 guys. A little bit of worried that to give up a penalty, but guys didn't do well enough. Altogether on the night, we weren't alert enough. We didn't cover enough ground. We didn't make it hard on them. We didn't win enough loose balls. We didn't do enough. We let ourselves down.
Did you expect to come in here and outpossess this team and then leave down 2-0?
That's why it's a little bit frustrating, because we had a lot of the game. Sometimes when you score early like Columbus does, the game, you wind up taking a little bit more of a defensive posture. And but I thought that a lot of the things we did on the day, we were able to put the game on our terms. We weren't dangerous enough, but I think that there's still a lot to play for here. That's what I'll say that probably 5 more times. But this series isn't over. Credit to Columbus for getting a 2-0 lead on their home turf. That's what they're supposed to do. Now it's up to us to go back to Red Bull Arena and push the game there.
What positives, if any, do you take from this game?
I take positives in the fact that we were controlling major portions of it, that even though we weren't very sharp, we still managed to put the game on our terms in many moments. And I know that we have so much more to give. I know, given everything, that wasn't a good performance for us. So I feel strongly that, again, going back to Red Bull Arena, that there's a lot to play for yet. We've been very good there all year, and we're going to rely on our home fans, a full stadium, and a good performance at home to get us through.
So we talked a lot in the lead up to this game about it being kind of a battle of wills and a battle of styles. In some ways, it seemed like Columbus kind of crib sheeted you guys and used midfield pressure and a little bit of a high press to try to disrupt that midfield area.
Well, it was, there was a battle of the midfield, right, for to be won. We picked up a lot of loose balls. I think we picked them off a few times and had chances to go forward. They were committing a lot of tactical fouls, which we tried to stay on the referee. He didn't want to pull out the card from his pocket. I understand in a big game that you don't want to just start handing out yellows, but felt that there were a few more out there. And that might have prevented them from stopping the counter quickly when they lost the ball. Yeah, I mean, they knew they weren't just going to be able to pass through us, so they had to make certain adjustments. And the first goal is a designed play off a kickoff that goes to Kamara, and they plan for Finley to run through like we know they do, and we still let them beat us. So that part's very disappointing.
Did you feel, speaking about yellow cards, that the crew were sort of targeting some of your players that were on yellows, question getting fouled 5-6 times in the game?
Well, they just were tactically following us, and the referee didn't want to do anything about it. So they had a lot of guys on the field who had basically a yellow to give, because if they pick up a yellow this game, they can't get suspended for the final. So that's a tactic. It's a tactic, and I don't think the referee did a good enough job with that. But that being said, we still had moments where we could have been better in transition, where we could have been a little bit sharper in the final third, and we will be at home. We will be.
This is probably the least influential we've seen maybe Sasha and BWP be in a long time. Do you agree with that? And why would you think, you said you weren't dangerous enough?
Yeah, I don't think we were just sharp enough and had enough, I don't think we put enough of when we had little advantages or crosses, we didn't get enough guys in the box. When we had little chances to take shots, we didn't have good enough efforts. But, I think actually as the game went on, that Sasha and Bradley had a pretty big impact on us now putting them on their heels. Just weren't able to make a play. The game there is still in the balance at 1-0, and now it's a funny moment because we look much more dangerous, but then we give up the goal, and now we've got a big hole to dig ourselves out of.
Did you have the sense you could get it 1-1 just given the frenetic nature of that?
I said to our staff at about the 70th minute, I said, do we want to go into a defensive posture and just say 1-0 is good enough? And I said, I felt like we had defensively things under control, and I felt like we were knocking on the door. So at that moment, you're assessing what the game looks like, and now using what kind of subs you have and trying to figure out ways to now see how you can affect the game in a positive way. In the end, maybe we should have made a defensive sub, but given everything, I thought it was still there for us to tie it up.
Did you feel that Tyson Wall playing for obviously the suspended Gaston Saro gave her a scene advantage from a scouting perspective? In other words, you guys had less footage of what he does, his physicality, his ability to roam.
Less footage of Saro?
No, less footage of Wall.
No, we have more. I mean, but Wall's played a lot of games this year, and we know him pretty well. I know him very well because I had him in Montreal. No, I think both Parkhurst and Wall had pretty good days. They dealt with Bradley in a good way. But again, if we're a little bit sharper, I think we could have found a goal.
And do you do anything different for Saro with his size, seeing how he neutralized Drogba against
Well, I think Saro provides different characteristics for the defensive line, and he's good in the air, and he's physical, he's good on set pieces. So there will be little adjustments that we have to make tactically and on set pieces, but we're going to be aggressive at home, and obviously it's important that we don't give a goal away, but we know this game will look differently at home.
Let's take two more.
Thoughts on the Abom substitution? I mean, from my vantage point, it kind of seemed like at that point, with them sitting back and pressure in the midfield, you had to go a little bit more direct.
Yeah, just trying to put a little more energy on the field and another guy up there that can maybe make a play. So thought about making that sub earlier, but again, at 1-0, I felt the game was there for us. Thought we had a chance to tie it up.
Can you talk about Ronaldo Zubar's performance? Obviously, coming in doing great things with Mel's injury. Just kind of talk about what the center backs have done. Having to step up.
Thought that him and Matt did a very good job on Kamara. He wasn't. I think he had one cross he got on the end of it the second half, but overall, to not be able to create that many chances for a goal scorer like that, pretty good job. I thought Ronald and Matt worked well together. I thought their tactical shifting and keeping track of Kamara was very good. We dealt with Finley pretty well for the most part. We dealt with Miram pretty well for the most part. Higuain was very active, as he is. He's hard to keep track of. He's hard to prepare for because he shows up in so many places. But it'll be a big task to go back in New York. But we look forward to it and we'll be ready for it.